Welcome to the Endurance for Everyone podcast.
Hey guys, just Rob today, cutting a little bit of a sprint episode for you. Recording this one a little in advance. Believe me, I'm gonna have John put this one up sometime over the Memorial Day weekend. The reason why I'm cutting it in advance, I recently did the sprint on the articles in the bicycling magazine, and one of them I talked about was like the bike packing over in Europe and so forth. Kind of inspired by that, or maybe it's because it's something that I've wanted to do for a while. You've heard me talk about I want to do the Gap Trail, which is the Great Allegheny Passage. It goes from Pittsburgh to DC. That being said, I'm not doing the whole trail, but as this posts, I should be doing about half the trail. So the plan is going to go with a friend, and we're going to start in Pittsburgh. Day one, we're starting right where the trail starts, Point State Park, where the rivers meet, and we're supposed to end in about Ohio Pile. 75-mile ride one day, and then the next day we're going to do another 75 miles, and we're going to aim to end in Cumberland, Maryland, which is right around the Continental Divide there. So if you actually look at the trail, going from Pittsburgh to DC is how most people do it, because it's a old railroad that's converted to a trail, so it is perceived flat, but there is gradual elevation. Offhand, I don't know how much that is. Somewhere maybe around 1,200 feet, or actually, what I'll do is I'm just going to go ahead and stop this for a second and check that. Okay, I'm back. Just wanted to do it and get it for you. Yeah, it's going to be about 1,600 feet of elevation change for us. Now, that being said, if you go out to their website, you can just go to Google, put in Gap Trail, and then you click about 3 tabs over, and you look at the tab that says, plan a visit, and you can go to elevation and mileage charts. As such, you can see from one town to another, how far it is between them, or from start to finish, etc. So the whole trail, Pittsburgh to DC, is 350 miles. That elevation that I'm talking about, Pittsburgh starts at 720. The Eastern Continental Divide is 2,392 feet. The difference between them is that 1,672 number that I just said. That said, is the Eastern Continental Divide is at about mile 125. Cumberland's at about mile 150. So what you're looking at is most people end up doing the trail, as I started saying, from Pittsburgh to DC, because you have a gradual then over 125 miles, you go up over 1,600 feet. From the Eastern Continental Divide down the Cumberland, it is downhill there. You lose pretty much all that elevation and an extra 100 feet across 25 miles. That's why people like to have that long, slow, so to say, uphill, and then that real steep, quick 25-mile downhill. If you're coming from Washington, D.C. towards Pittsburgh, you're going to tackle that entire thing over that 25-mile span, which is going to be a lot more challenging. So years past, I had debated, when I say doing this, and looking at it and saying, hey, that's, when I say only, I'm using air quotes, 350 miles, I was thinking, hey, I want to do this in potentially 3 days, 4 days. That's basically 3 century back to back to back. Now, I live in the hills, Pennsylvania. As such, I went out and did 1,400 feet of climbing or so across like 16 miles the other day. And that was just a regular, I'm going to say, hilly ride. I was searching out hills. I wasn't trying to keep it flat. But even a flat ride, when I go out for 30 some mile ride on the flattest following rivers that I can, I still end up with maybe 500-600 feet of elevation across that 30-mile stretch. So for me, I'm figuring that this is going to be a much flatter ride than I'm generally accustomed to. It's something that you're going to want to check out if you're going to want to try to do one of these, or in particular do this trail, because if that's more than you're used to, it's something you're going to have to train for. Now, I am not saying that I am in shape or train for this. You all know that I'm just coming off of the marathon training, so I feel I have a pretty good cardio base. And to be honest, we're jumping into this a little haphazardly. We had talked about it for the last couple years that we want to do it, and just kind of literally on one bike ride decided, pulled the trigger, went home, booked a couple hotels, and said we're going to jump in and do this. So I just want to go through a quick gear rundown of what I think is the essentials for this, and then some extra stuff that I'm including just for fun. So I'm going to be taking my hybrid, which is what most people call the flat bar road bike. It's an aluminum frame Trek with regular crankset on the front, meaning not compact. I have 3 rings, so I have 3 on the front, a nice array on the back. I do have the little bar ends that stick up, kind of like antlers. If you put your hands out, give thumbs up, like those little things, gives you a various hand positions. That way I have a different, that I can ride in. This bike I have put fenders on because I do commute back and forth to work on it. Keeps a little bit of the splash up, or off me, I should say. I have a headlight, I have a tail light. Those are just for safety. I like to have them. The rail trail is going to be closed. It's not going to be, there's not vehicular traffic on it, so I wouldn't need it. Just nice to have it. The bike also has a bell. And that way, you can say on your left as you're passing people. But, 1,000 times saying that, you're probably going to get a little hoarse, voice. So you just ding your bell once or twice and you go out around them. Now, I have this bike set up. When I say you can go either way, I have it set so I can pull a little trailer behind it. I also have it with a back rack, and I have a set of panniers that I'm going to go ahead and put on. So I have the option of going either way with it. Some trips, if you were planning a much longer one, you might take both of those actually. That being said, I'm not going to take the trailer. If I was going camping, if I was taking a tent, a stove, hauling my food and all that type of stuff, then I would most likely be pulling the trailer and less in the panniers, because that way once I got to a campsite, I can take it off, take all the gear out, set up my camp, and then leave the trailer, and then just take the bike in if I was going to go through town or whatnot. I said we had booked hotel rooms, so we're gonna have a real bed to sleep in, and we're going to have showers. As such, we don't have to worry about all that, just your general toiletries. I have contacts, so I need to take my glasses, toothbrush, contact case. One pannier side, I basically I'm putting my cycling stuff, packing it for when I ride down. So I'm gonna have my shoes, 2 pairs of socks, one for each day, 2 pair of bike shorts, 1 for each day. If it's a longer trip, we could wash and reuse those, and 2 bike jerseys. On the other side, I'm gonna have my general clothes, which that being said is it's gonna pretty much be empty when I go down, because I'm going to be wearing a set of tennis shoes. I'm going to be, wearing socks, underwear. I'm taking a pair of lightweight, like hiking pants that can be, the aired out. The bottoms zip off to make them into shorts. And I'm taking, 2 t-shirts, one that I'm wearing down, one that I'll pack so I have a spare. Might even actually be overpacking a little bit, because what I wear down the one day I could rewear the next day. 1 ball cap, and then I'm going to throw my incidentals in, deodorant. As I said, you heard me say toiletry, toothbrush. I'm going to put in a little lipstick charger, so that way if things were to go dead on the trail, it's just a little extra battery pack that it connects with the USB, so I can plug my phone into it, my watch into it. I'm also going to take a GoPro. That's not a necessity, just have one. Figured I might as well take it and see if I can piece something together afterwards. If I was traveling alone, I might consider packing a book or a Kindle, but I'm going to be riding with my buddy, so when we get to the hotel, not too worried about having reading material. As you heard me say, this trail is well populated through towns, so we're not taking any food. I'm going to have my water bottle on my bike, but I don't need to take a water pump or purification. Things that if you were going, through wilderness, you might want to consider, but I'm not going to worry about packing those for this trip. I'm also going to pack, personally, what I use when I'm running, the nippies, the little stickers, so that way to prevent nipple chafing, as well as a thing of Body Glide. Looks like a deodorant stick. You rub it on if you have any areas of rubbing. So since I haven't, all the gear I'm taking, I've worn many times on many rides, but you're talking an hour, 2 hour max. I've never really been in the kit for 7 hours, 10 hours, 2 days in a row. So it's something that I'm, going to be a little bit foreign, and that's where I'm saying we're jumping into it haphazardly, is I haven't built up and really tested this stuff on this scenario, so it'll be interesting to see what happens. I'll follow up probably either on the episode with John or with another sprint on how it was, maybe some thoughts from the trail as we're doing it. Might post some photos in the group, so that way you guys can, see what I'm doing, what the trail looks like. That way, if it interests you, if you have any questions regarding it, reach out to me directly, and let me know. I'll answer anything I can. And most of the time, if it's more trail specific, I'm going to say just go to their website, check it out, because they have a lot of great information, pretty much everything you're going to need to plan the trip, including an interactive map that in each town you can see lodging and food and stuff like that. So that's what I got going on. Hopefully you guys like this and get inspired to go check something out yourself. Talk to you later. Hey guys, I'm cutting in one extra piece here that I had not included earlier, and that is I also am going to be including a bike jacket because I need something for wind protection. So that's a jacket that is specially cut for on the bike, makes it a little more comfortable, and also the sleeves come off of it to make it a vest, so it's like a windproof vest. Additionally, a pair of gloves/mittens. Once again, cycling, so there's a layer of wind there. So I'll be packing those as well. And that's it. All right. Have a good day.
If you have comments or questions for the show, send an email to teamE4E at enduranceforeveryone.com. And remember, swim calm, bike strong, and run steady.